Hello, everyone. If I did this correctly, we should be live on the LinkedIn page for CESSE. Thank you so much to everyone first for taking a little bit of your time out of your day for joining us today for about half an hour to talk a little bit about a really exciting event that we got coming up in a few months, Access. My name is Angel Martinez. I am the marketing manager here at CESSE. Been here for about a year and a half, and I've really enjoyed working with this group. Had the opportunity to go to Access last year in Toronto. If you missed out, you definitely won't want to miss it out again this time around, because we'll be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, June 23rd to the 25th at the W Philadelphia, going in through all the logistics right now, but we'll dive through the program, answer any questions that folks have about the conference throughout the session. But before all of that, I mean, let's just break the ice. Please, in the comments, like, share where you're calling in from, who you work with. Just let us know where you're calling in from. I'm personally from calling from Chicago here in the Midwest, still dealing with a little bit of cold, a little bit of hot, but yeah. Khan, where are you calling in from?
Hi, Angel. Hi, everyone. Khánh Vũ with SASE, calling from Denver, Colorado. It's about almost 80 degrees today, and we'll get snow this weekend. So welcome to Colorado, right? Dana?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dana Otillio. I'm Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Society of Petroleum Engineers, and I'm co-chair of ACCESSE. I am calling in from Plano, Texas, just north of Dallas. And as one could expect from Texas, it's already summer. Like, we've just skipped spring. It's just already, it's just getting hot. So, and like Con, it'll probably get cold, maybe next week. But I'm expecting mostly hot.
Got some folks coming in from DC, which I know just DC areas where a lot of folks in the CESSE community are located. Anjana, thanks for joining us, calling in from Houston. Friend Eric, calling in from Kensington, Maryland, just outside of Washington, DC. Appreciate you, Eric, for chiming in. But I feel like I just dove right into it. For anyone that's new to this community, I'd like to give a brief overview about who is CESSE, what is CESSE. So I'll just give a quick little blurb about this awesome association if you haven't heard about it. CESSE, or the Council for Engineering and Scientific Society Executives, is the professional home for hundreds of STEM society professionals who value the trusted network and shared experiences of their peers. We offer a platform for exchanging knowledge about their specialties, and a venue for addressing the challenges and opportunities facing STEM society professionals today. I know Con and Dana, you've already shared where you're calling in from, who your organizations are, but would like to just ask both of you, how did you get involved with CESSE? Dana, would love to start with you. How did you get involved?
Yeah, well, I feel like I have to give a shout out to Rebecca Staccia, one of my former coworkers at SPE, who's now a CEO. And she was the one several years ago that suggested, hey, I know you've been involved with ASAE and some marketing organizations, but you may find something at CESSE that's a little bit unique, a little bit special. And I mean, one of the things that I kind of lamented for a long time was, well, STEM organizations, like, we're just different. And sometimes it was tough when I was going to some of these other conferences or webinars where it was an association that was maybe just local, like in a particular city or state or just in the US. And I wasn't really seeing a lot of organizations that had high global membership. And I also wasn't seeing some that had, like, challenges with peer-reviewed publishing or, other things that I feel like STEM organizations are just, they're unique challenges, right? And so I took a leap of faith, and 2 years ago attended ACCESSE for the first time, and immediately felt like these are my people. And so, yeah, that's how it was actually ACCESSE. That was my first interaction with CESSE. And I was immediately hooked and made a ton of friendships, a ton of relationships at that first conference that I still lean on today.
Thank you for sharing that. And that was, I wasn't here yet, but that was in Detroit, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah.
Or yeah, awesome. Do anything fun in Detroit, or first time going there?
It's my first time going there. Yeah, no, it's great. I really liked it.
Yeah.
For a Southern girl, I like the Midwest.
Yeah, but say shout out to the Midwest.
Yes.
Con, how about you? I know you've been involved with CESSE for quite some time. How's this just journey with this community been for you?
Yeah, similar like Dana, one of my mentors, Betty Shanahan, the previous SWE Society of Women Engineer CEO, said, "Con, you got to join, CESSE." And I was like, "What's CESSE?" And being a good mentee, I was like, "Okay, yes, ma'am, I'm on it." And so I joined, and I met some of the, at the time, the CEO, what we call the Big Four, the AICHE, the ASME, the civil engineers and mechanical engineers, IEEE. So I'm an engineer by training. So I literally, at that time, Facebook, of course, I fanboyed all the CEOs, had a selfie with all of them because I was a fanboy of their organization. And just like Dana, it has become my tribe. I created some fabulous and very deep relationships within CESSE, and they have my back. I know that, and I have their back. And so it is truly my tribe. As Dana said, some of the other organizations I belong to, they're too large. You get lost in them, or they're very specialized in certain areas. But this, for a STEM association professional, CESSE is probably the closest thing you'll find to what your peers are doing across the board. So I started in 2014, so it's been over an 11-year journey with CESSE, and I'm vice chair on the board, so they roped me in. Volunteering is great. It's a great way, such as Dana is co-chair of this year's ACCESSE conference with myself. You get to do a lot, and you really get to meet people. And at the end of the day, that's amazing. That's one of the things that you'll find out, that if you come to CESSE and ACCESSE in particular, you'll find your peers, you'll find your tribe, and it's large enough to where you'll get the diversity, but it's small enough to actually get to know people.
Mm-hmm. That's very well said. Yeah, even when I met a lot of folks for the first time in person last year, Dana included, just everyone was just so warm, welcoming. I mean, I don't personally work in, apart from within CESSE, with STEM association professionals, but just the warmth and welcoming of everyone's smiling faces, including the partners as well. It's just a really awesome environment to be in ACCESSE, and even year round the CESSE community. I think if you aren't a part of it, definitely would recommend becoming a member, or you might have some folks who that you can talk a little bit more about this experience. So today, thank you both again. So today we're, of course, you both are the co-chairs for ACCESSE25 in Philadelphia, and that's really what we're here to talk about today. Again, for anyone who is first engaging with CESSE for the first time, I'd like to give a quick blurb about what is ACCESSE specifically. And it's, as we've already mentioned, this conference that happens annually that delivers leadership development, peer-to-peer connections, and content expertise in association management for science, technology, engineering, and math societies. We really see it as a trusted space for STEM society professionals, and the conference that brings together executive leaders, team members from a wide range of functions, membership, finance, everything, HR that you can think of within these scientific associations, to share their perspectives and turn ideas into reality. And yeah, I would be not doing my job if I didn't give a quick plug that we are, in registration season right now, and we have 1 week left until our early bird rate expires. So if you're thinking about it, hopefully this conversation is something that pushes you to want to register and join us in Philadelphia. But April 23rd is when that rate will be expiring. So definitely get registered if you have a chance to do so. But going back to our experiences at ACCESSE, would like to ask both of you just how your experiences have been there. Dana, starting with you, how you've been to Detroit, you've been to Toronto. I know that's two, but how have those experiences like kind of stood out apart from other association conferences that you've been a part of?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'll kind of give a two-pronged answer. So for me personally, coming out of the pandemic, I realized just how isolated I had become outside of my organization. I mean, obviously, I was, had great, relationships and collaboration with staff, but I hadn't really looked outside of our organization, what other organizations were maybe doing that was innovative or just different. And the organizations, like many of us, are facing similar challenges, especially just the volatility since the pandemic, unfortunately, has not really subsided that much. We continue to have disruptors left and right. And so, it starts to kind of feel like, well, maybe this is just the norm now that we're all going to have to be facing this. And so I think personally, I was kind of looking for help, right? Like, how do I kind of look outside myself and look at things from a different lens? But I also think, like, professionally and for our organization, what I have been able to bring back from attending ACCESSE these past 2 years, I mean, I've brought back potential vendors that we could use for solving different problems. There's tons of time during the conference to be able to engage with those vendors and ask them, really specific questions. And then you kind of realize, like, oh, our organization is not unique. There's others that are needing these same type of products or services. So that was fabulous. And then obviously attending and also participating in some of the sessions. The first year I participated in a multimedia session that was all about like how to diversify your revenue streams. And then last year I was in on a session about large language models and how it's impacting associations from the publishing perspective. So definitely being a part of those sessions and just all the variety of other sessions, even the ones related to finance, I found particularly interesting. So, even if you're not in finance, you need to understand how to have fiscal responsibility. You need good business acumen if you want to succeed and be promoted within an association. So I think, for anyone that's kind of looking for upward mobility, they're wanting to take on bigger roles in their organization. ACCESSE is not to be missed.
Thank you so much for that. Con, anything to add on that?
That's a lot, and I agree with everything Dana said. I've been to my fair share of ACCESSE conference. I would say for this year in particular it's actually designed, and the programming committee is by other STEM professionals. So it's designed by us for us, and so we're getting things that are of interest from our community, and we're trying to source some of the best, topic experts on these topics that will hopefully open your eyes and introduce you to new things that you may have struggled with, or you're being challenged at work, or you haven't thought about. One of the things I love about CESSE and ACCESSE in general is it gets me to think outside of my own box. Like Dana was saying about her network being outside, I like to see, as a CEO, to see what's coming up and the different areas of concern, right? And so this gives me a really broad view of what people are worried about, what are their challenges, and what are some opportunities. And so that's why I like to go to ACCESSE, is not only the network, but also thinking about it on a very broad scale, more like an industry level, our industry, the STEM professional level, and seeing what everybody's concern is, what are their challenges, and some of the thought leaders in the areas are. So that's what I love about ACCESSE, is just the breadth and the width. And it's a design by STEM professionals for STEM professionals. And so this is gonna, I'm pretty sure, resonate with a lot of people. You are in the STEM organizations, and you'll hear from your peers.
Yeah, couldn't agree with that more. still staying with UConn, this next question, I know we're talking a lot about attending Access, but in the role of someone who is a decision maker who could influence the attendance of, you know, your team or your staff or whomever to attend Access, wanted to ask you about that. Just can you speak a little bit about the importance of decision makers of these associations in investing in their team's attendance to Access this year? Just can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, particularly, I think it's important for virtual organization like ours. So everybody works remotely for the most part, and we've been like that since the beginning. And I think, being in person, seeing people is very important. So we try to get people together at least twice a year, and one of those times is during Access, because I think it really speaks to that tribal nature of feeling our folks, who we are, feeling a network. Because if you're in a virtual space, it's easy to switch in and switch out. You know, you work for XYZ organization, nonprofit, for profit, you're still remote, right? And there's that connectivity to the community. And I think that having my staff showing up at Access is important, and feeling that they are also part of certain mission, because all the folks that show up are mission focused, right? And they feel that community. So I think for retention, for building that community sense is a great way of having your folks attend Access, especially if they're looking to stay within the profession and they're trying to network around this. I've seen many of our Access attendees, as Dana says, Rebecca, a good friend of mine, move from organizational leadership to the CEO position, and it's amazing to see that there is progression, and it's through the network of CESSE and Access that these things happen.
Thank you for that. Dana, would you like to add anything on that? Or
yeah, I mean, he said it well. I think that we have an amazing program committee this year for Access. I'm sure we say it every year, but we really do have some diverse viewpoints, people in kind of representing every area from a department perspective and focus. And I think that Access provides that opportunity for you to do, as what Khan said, to have people attending from your organization that are in different roles, different departments, because the multidisciplinary approach at Access really ensures that there's a little bit of something in the programming for everyone.
Definitely. And something that kind of comes up for me as I'm hearing both of you talk about this conference in specific, and something I think that matters for me whenever I'm in different spaces is context. You know, why now? Why us? Why now? Kind of like mindset, and that is kind of like my transition into talking a little bit about this year's theme of expanding impact. And Dana, well, you've already said that you've attended twice, volunteered as a speaker, now a co-chair. Can you just talk to us a little bit about this year's theme of expanding impact? Just kind of what comes to mind when you hear that?
Yeah, I was really excited. Like I got really deep into this theme, like, the symbolism of it. And, it has three prongs. Expanding impact is expanding your impact, expanding your organization's impact, and then ultimately expanding STEM's global impact. And what I really like about the theme is this idea that we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. And I think that for at least some of us, I include myself in it, that is what kind of attracted us to our organizations in the first place, right? Being a part of something bigger than yourself, and defending kind of your organization, its place within the world, right? And how what your members do and what your staff does, how that helps society at large. But you have to start somewhere, right? And sometimes that feels overwhelming. Like, how can I make the world a better place? I'm just one person. And so that's what I like about the theme, is it it recognizes that we all have to start somewhere, right? We all have to take responsibility, no matter what level of an organization we're at. We all have expertise. We all have ideas to share, and we all need to speak up, right? And we all need to defend the honor of our societies. And but sometimes we got to do it together as well. And that's why I love Access so much, because you don't feel so alone. We might feel this sense of responsibility to ourselves and to our organizations, but it's also nice to know that there's other organizations kind of going through similar pain points. So yeah, so that's kind of what resonated with me about the theme.
Thank you so much for that. And I also have this question on the docket, which is the theme is new this year of expanding your impact, but also new session formats, forum versus focus sessions. Can you talk to me a little bit about kind of that new session format for ACCESSE25 as well?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, we really take it seriously of the feedback we get from attendees. And one of the comments that we had received back on last year's Access was that some sessions felt like they were maybe a little bit too much time for whatever the focus topic was. And then there were other sessions where there were maybe multiple speakers or a panel type of format where there wasn't enough time in what we had allocated for that session. And so I'm really excited, really pleased to see that we've got a forum and a focus type sessions. So when the program committee was putting together the sessions, it was something that we thought about of like, is this proposal, is this topic something that really is a standalone, a very focused topic, or is this something that might be a panel session? And so basically the amount of time that we've allocated for those sessions depends based on whether it's going to be more of like a single speaker keynote style versus panel. So now there'll be a little bit more time on the panels. That's the forum sessions. There'll be more time in those forum sessions for not only each of the speakers to provide their unique perspectives, but also make sure that we have enough time for Q&A at the end.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I've already popped it up on the screen once, but I'll put it right here. Our schedule is live. I mean, as you both know, as everyone on this call probably knows, subject to change, but for the most part, this is pretty similar or pretty on the dot of what you'll be seeing when you arrive in Philadelphia for our sessions and our program schedule. And when I look at this, there's just so much. I mean, I'm kind of biased to just want to go to the marketing and communication sessions, but just everything. You mentioned it earlier, Dana. There was a finance session. I think Julie Fortenberry. We're bringing that one back. Finance is everyone's business, and I really wish I could go to all of them. And leads me to my next question, tossing it back to you, Khan. Just when you look at this schedule and have been to Access many a time, just are there any sessions or speakers that you're really looking forward to hear from in Philadelphia this year?
I think I have that same problem, is that given the titles and as it very clicked on the link there to the schedule, it's hard to choose, right? It's hard should I go to that? Should I go? And I think some of the things that are exciting is some of the personal development stuff, right? Leadership questions, which speaks to all the different areas, no matter where you are. I think, one of my favorite persons, of course, Karen Hording with SWE, she's presenting a session there about, EQ and leadership and how do you develop as a leader. And I think she's a great person to do that. She's seen a lot of things in this world, especially given our times. I would say, and I'm looking forward to our keynote speaker talking about resilience. I think that's going to be a huge topic given our environment right now. How do we deal with resilience? And touching on what Dana said is, even getting together, right, with the chaos and the challenges of all our organization, whether that's funding, whether that's membership, whether it's attack on science and engineering, it's just nice to get together and be able to say, wow, is this happening to you? Is this happening to me? And you're like, yes, it's happening to all of us, right? And that's the beautiful things is some of the workshops will be addressing some of these issues that were the challenges that we have. But my personal topic is the AI stuff. So we have some thought leaders on AI stuff. I'm a big fan of AI. I know that there are issues with AI, so I'm not blindly following AI, but I think that it's a great opportunity and tool. So those are kind of the general themes that I'm going to be looking for personally when I select my sessions. But yeah, I'm excited and thank you again to the programming committee. They did an outstanding job of vetting and talking about it and really bringing forth. And thank you for some of our folks who are on who submitted. So by the way, if you love Access, you can submit in for next year because it's designed by us, it's presented by us and our sponsors and our community really. And so you'll be meeting a ton of people. The presenters are in this industry, so they understand. They're either vendors, sponsors, so they understand these issues that we're facing right now. So that's, like I said, that's why I'm looking forward to the schedule. I might have to ask some of you to sub in for me if I can't make one and debrief, give me the 1-page summary of how that session went. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in Philly.
Thank you for that. And you brought up another quick point that I just want to flash on the screen. I think we've already also mentioned this, but the partners, the vendors that come to this space every year just really do get STEM societies or just love working and collaborating with the organizations that are and the professionals that are in CESSE. So thank you so much to our partners for ACCESSE25. You can visit that website to see who's going to be attending in Philadelphia. And also their name might not pop here, but Adrienne, who also works on the CESSE staff, who the partners probably already know. Dina, you might know her, our partnership manager, who does an awesome job at facilitating these relationships. And just wanted to give her a quick shout out. But yeah, also, if any questions I think I failed to mention, please share, drop them in the comments. We have a few minutes left. But Dana, any speaker sessions popping out to you that you're really excited to attend?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have the same problem as Khan. I'm gonna be like, how can I split myself in multiple people so I can attend everything? But yeah, no, I'm really excited about some of the membership and marketing sessions that we have planned. There's a session related to creating engagement strategies. I think engagement, whether or not our membership is going up or down or is flat, I think we can all agree that membership engagement continues to be a challenge in this world where, we're not just the only voice anymore, right? There's lots of voices out there, lots of different organizations and for-profit competitors that are trying to vie for our members' attention. So how do we keep our volunteers engaged? How do we, it's an ongoing issue. And so it's great to see that represented in the program of, just some new approaches, new strategies for that. And that includes making data-driven decisions. So I saw a lot of references in the proposals that were accepted on how do we make better data-driven decisions. It's something that we have to do if we want to appear credible to our boards, if we want to really engage and really understand what our members value, then we've got to leverage data to help us make those decisions. So that's, and then all the marketing stuff. I want to go to all the marketing stuff. So yeah, there's some good sessions that we have there about brand storytelling. I'm excited about that one. So yeah, that's probably where I will be.
Awesome, thank you. I'm not seeing that many questions right now, but we're always going to be here leading up to the conference. So if you ever have any questions or are curious about Access, please contact us on our website. We have our email info@cesse.org, or you could just contact us via a phone, and one of our members of our member services team could answer any and all questions you have. But my last question for you all, I just wanted to end on Access, that's the main event. That's what we're all looking forward to. But wanted to ask both of you, I don't know if I think we were talking before this call, but I forget if it's your first time in Philadelphia. But starting with you, Con, what's one thing you're looking forward to doing in Philadelphia apart from Access?
There's a few things. So I'm going to take a little liberty and say more than one. I've been to Philadelphia, love the city. My sister went to UPenn. Both of my sisters went to UPenn. And so I had some traumatic experience about 20 years ago moving them to UPenn when it was a lot rougher. They've done a great job remodeling downtown. It's a beautiful area. Chinatown is 4 or 5 blocks away. So I would highly, highly recommend hitting up Chinatown. If you need recommendations, I'm your person. I have some friends there that I'll visit. And then, of course, you got to run up the Rocky steps, right? The Rocky Balboa, do a selfie up there on the steps and raise your hands up like, you're the champion. So, so some of the touristy things that I love. And we're like a block away from Ben Franklin City Square. So we're in the middle of the action right there. So it's a great part of town. Pretty safe. New food scene just south of the W Hotel. Again, a lot of stuff to do in Philly. So you might want to take some time before or afterwards to hang out in Philly because there's a lot of historical stuff going on there.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to treat yourself to. Dana, how about yourself? First time or?
This will be my first time. My organization doesn't go to Philly very often. There's not a lot of petroleum in that area, but no, I'm really excited about going to Philly for the first time. And I love trying out different cuisines. I really want to go to Chinatown, as Con was talking about that when he mentioned that's always interesting to me, like what cultures are like really represented heavily in different cities. So yeah, I'm really excited to explore all of that. And yes, I will be one of those, really cheesy people running up the stairs and doing my Rocky pose. So yes, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Just a quick shout out. Somebody put in the Reading Market Terminal. Highly, that's like 3 blocks away. Highly recommend. Thank you, Hunter, for mentioning it. Best pulled pork I've had, like hand down. It's a great place to hang out. So definitely shout out. If you're a foodie, you have to hit that up. So thank you, Hunter, for mentioning that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm getting hungry already.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Hunter. And that pretty much wraps up our time together. Just putting this back on here. Please, if you have any questions, please contact any of us on our website or just via email, via phone. If you're curious more about Access, but really looking forward to seeing any and all of you, our partners, our attendees of the CESSE community, to June 23rd to 25th at the W Philadelphia Hotel. We're 1 week away from the early bird registration deadline, so if you haven't already, definitely take advantage of that. I don't have it on the screen right here, but CESSE members also get a $100 discount. So definitely just a lot of ways to treat yourself to registration, to this conference, to Philadelphia. I'm really looking forward to it. And Con, Dana, thank you again for joining me on this live. Any last concluding words before we sign off?
Just, I know it's uncertain times for a lot of people and a lot of challenges up there. This is a place where I think you'll find, as Angel mentioned, that we share your pain, we feel your pain, and we support you as you struggle, overcome it. Know that this is hopefully becomes your tribe, and this is where you can be honest, and we'll be friendly at the end of the day. So I hope to see everybody in Philly and with the great food. So again, I'm a foodie, so if you want to know some of the foodie places there, hit me up, send me a LinkedIn message.
Dana, any last words?
Yeah, I mean, look, I know conferences like this, it costs money, right? And having time out of the office. You might be thinking, oh, I have so much work to come back to after the conference. But I'm telling you, there is a cost to not being engaged in an organization like CESSE. And the cost is, you know, if you're not kind of staying up to date, if you're not engaging with other organizations that are maybe dealing with other similar challenges, you might not be able to solve challenges at your organization as well, right? Like it may be harder for you to tackle on your own all of these challenges. And so I do feel it's worth the money to participate. And we hope that everyone will make access one of their priorities for the year.
Definitely, definitely. Well, with that wraps up our time together. Con, Dana, thank you so much again for your time. Also to everyone that joined us, whether it was for a minute, 5 minutes, or our entire session. Thank you, and looking forward to seeing you all in Philadelphia this June. See you there.
See you.
Thank you.